I'm Bill Millard, a writer in New York City's East Village. Magazine and newspaper articles about architecture are my regular bread and butter, as some of you may know from seeing my work in Oculus, the Architect newspaper, Architectural Record, and elsewhere. But they're only part of what I do. I'm working on 2 books. One that I believe should proceed quickly because it's tied to important and fast-breaking current events, and one that's been progressing more gradually. Like a lot of people who write for a living, I'm long on ideas, long on projects, short on time, and short on funds. So I'm turning to the crowdfunding community for investment in something that's much more than a personal obsession. It may turn out to be a serious contribution to public discussions about subjects that are important to everybody. The transportation system, particularly New York City's Penn Station, and the American built environment broadly considered. How much of a contribution I'm making is ultimately for the public to decide, not me, but I believe in it enough to ask some of you to believe in it as well. Note that I'm addressing some of you, not everybody. Some assume that any project of value will have already generated or attracted enough funds to support its completion through the magic of the marketplace. Not to get sidetracked about the proportions of fairness and chance in market mechanisms, but that assumption works better for some endeavors than others. And writing book-length manuscripts is a long slog before any funding appears in the form of a contract. Even when a writer can publish certain parts of a large project as individual magazine or journal articles, as I've done with segments of both of these books, the cash flow at the research and drafting stages for the full project is rarely sufficient to keep the writer afloat and productive. I usually specialize in architecture. I've also published articles and anthology chapters about literature, medicine, music, the sciences, popular culture, cyberculture, and all sorts of ideas that link these areas together. About 2 decades ago, I got an offer from a prominent global architecture firm to write about a challenging new building as if I were describing an alien autopsy, a gig I probably got because as a former editor of a university's interdisciplinary research magazine, I've kept one foot in the biomedical world as well. That project turned into several articles in Rem Koolhaas and OMA-AMO's 2004 book Content, and it opened my eyes further to architecture as the great convergence field, the place where all sorts of disciplines come together with consequences that affect everybody. The built environment has been my central beat since then. I'm now looking for people who understand the challenges of major writing projects and have the resources to invest in this work up front. Perhaps you've done well financially, to the point where enough passive income comes your way that in some respects you're playing with house money, as they say in Vegas. Out there, such people are known as high rollers or whales. Others call them patrons or philanthropists. To anybody who's interested in supporting my book work on any scale, large or small, I'm infinitely grateful, and I can assure you the investment will go to good purpose. Las Vegas, either the real place or the metaphor for the casino aspects of the economy, is not a place I've spent much time. Exactly once, actually, on assignment to describe a building, with zero gambling on my part. Because I've put far more of my time and attention into the work itself than into the business side of it, I'm currently in a situation where house money or any other kind is scarce. I've also worked on a lot of pro bono projects and low-paying projects that are worthwhile in non-material ways. Without belaboring it, no matter how long or how hard I work, no matter how many deadlines I continue to meet, and my editors can confirm that I reliably meet them, my finances are far enough underwater that when I look up, I see anglerfish and vampire squid. Hoping for some help from people who have both the goodwill and the means to patch up my humble submarine, knowing that these projects have value beyond what the economic realm currently assigns to them, I'm writing 2 books that deserve to reach the public. To keep this video appeal brief, I'll divide it in segments, beginning with the Penn Station book, with the second book to follow later. Thanks for your attention so far, and I hope the work I'm about to describe will strike you as worthy of your support.